Alright guys, so the next part in this series after you have done all this, throttle cable play was the last one, is inspect drive chain and clean and lube the chain again. You gotta do that every 600 miles. Okay? So, I'm gonna show you what that's gonna involve. So your drivetrain obviously is, drivetrain is your chain right here. Okay? Mine's dirty and it's ready. It's ready to go for cleaning. And in this you're gonna need your chain cleaner and chain lube, as well as the brush that I have described in the things you'll need to accomplish this. Okay, now basically what you're looking for is you want to make sure that there's no binding, that the wheel's moving freely. You want to make sure when you're going through this that every part of the chain is good, that there's no binding, there's no hard parts, there's no locked up parts. It's all good, it's all loose. And this is a new bike once again, so it's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to clean this, but first, the other thing too, before we start cleaning and all that shit, we want to make sure this chain slack is in spec. Okay, and I'm gonna show you right now what the spec is and where it should be at. This might actually be a little loose on my bike already, but I'm gonna check right now. Okay guys, before I go to my bike and show you, I'm gonna show you right here what it involves. Chain slack is basically this right here. You got your chain, you go all the way down here, you pull the chain down in the middle point and pull it up. That space between all the way up and all the way down should be this spec right here. 20 to 30 millimeters or 0.8 to 1.2 inches. If it's not in spec, you're gonna need to do this. Support motorcycle up with a jack or rear stand, of course. Loosen the axle nut. Loosen the left and right chain lock nuts. Loosen or tighten both chain adjuster bolts until the slack is in spec. Okay? If you go down here, here's a picture here. If you go down here, after adjusting the drive chain, tighten the axle nut to specified torque. And the torque of that nut is 72.5 foot-pounds or 100 Newton meters. Then you're going to tighten both chain adjuster lock nuts securely. Recheck drive slack after tightening the axle nut. Okay? Now guys, I just measured mine. Here's the middle point basically, and you want to go all the way down, all the way up. That needs to fall within spec. Now this right here is a touchy subject because some people race their bikes, things like that, and people have preferences. Some people like a loose chain because when your chain is loose, when this swing arm is going up and down, you know, when you're hitting bumps and stuff like that, it's better to have a loose chain to go up with the suspension. If you have a chain that's too tight, it's going to put more stress on the back wheel. Okay, so if you do things like that, it's good. Okay, a lot of people say too, if you want to just check it, this should be just hitting the swing arm here. Okay, now mine is right there at the edge of spec. Okay, it's still in there, it hasn't moved much. And I haven't had any issues. The drivetrain moves smoothly, so I'm not gonna adjust it. Alright guys, so cleaning and lubing the chain, I like to use a mold tool, but there's lots of different cleaners, so it's up to you. You need a chain cleaner, and you're gonna need some chain lube at the end. This one's more of like a waxy type, which I kind of like, so it's similar to what's on there already from the factory, so that's what we're gonna use. But right now we're gonna clean the chain. You're going to need a grunge brush or some kind of brush or toothbrush to scrub it with. And basically all you're going to do, and I also recommend a pan, guys, or something on the floor to catch all the crud and oil and shit. You're also going to need a shop rag to wipe the chain down after we're done cleaning it. So let me show you what's up. I'm just going to go ahead and get some of my chain cleaner here. And I'm just going to start spraying the chain. So you just want to spray it and move the tire at the same time. Make sure you get in between the chain, outside the chain. Really get on there, guys. Don't be afraid. You're gonna use probably a whole can fucking doing this shit. And it is gonna be messy. Okay, so now get your grunge brush and brush it. So get both sides of the chain real good, and then make sure you get the top and bottom. This chain is still fairly new, of course, because it's a new bike, so it's actually not too bad. Okay guys, after you've gone over it with the grunge brush, go ahead and spray some more cleaner on it, and then we're gonna wipe it down. You are going to want to make sure, guys, that you do wipe off your wheel, because that could be a fucking accident waiting to fucking happen. You'll bust your ass and all your shit, and there goes your fucking bike and your dick. So make sure you wipe that off. But as you can see, I'll show you. Look at that clean chain. Nice and shiny again. So right now we're going to go ahead and wipe it down with our shop rag. Here's our shop rag. You can also use a little shop towel, those blue ones, and you're just gonna dry it off, guys. Look at that. So get another side of the towel, a clean side preferably. Do it again, get all that dirt off. Spray it down some more with your chain cleaner, and then wipe it some more. But you do want to make sure it's completely dry before you re-lube it. Alright guys, now that my chain is clean, looks all nice and shiny again, we're going to go ahead and get our multiple chain lube, and you're going to go ahead and spray it outside and inside the chain links, inside the O-rings, everything. Guys, make sure you coat it really good. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to go. So once your chain is coated, you want to let it sit a little bit to dry. It is kind of waxy, or this particular one anyway. You also, once again, like I said, you make sure you clean your rim and clean your fucking wheel. You do not want any of this wax on the wheel. You will fucking go down. So make sure you clean it off really good. And be very careful when you're riding off, guys. When you're doing your first ride after this, be easy for a little bit until it's all gone, and then you can let it rip. That concludes the chain lube and clean, guys. So if you have any questions on that, please let me know. I know I didn't need to adjust my chain in this portion of the video, but I will be checking it again, probably after another 600 miles or so, or when I reach 1,000, and I'm pretty sure by then I will be, or maybe before then, adjusting it, which I will make a video, guys, so don't worry. If you do need it and you can't get it, I'll be making a video on it. So there you go.